Shalom. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rapakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the bishops, and the elders of GMS who rules well. Peace and salutations to the elect. My name is Ainar. The title of this video is U.S. Army raises maximum enlistment age to 42. All right. Basically, this goes into, of course, the Army. It goes into people that are able to sign up, and ultimately, when they make the draft, it'll make it possible for, people of the age of this, age, I believe it's like 18. So now it'd be from 18 to 42 that you're able to be drafted. And I mean, shoot, if you look at what's happening in Ukraine, they're walking around or driving around the city just snatching up people to make them fight in the war. So it's gonna be bad for America. I'm not saying I don't know if America might do something like that, but anyway, they're preparing for what's to come, and what's to come is World War III. Right? This is 2 Corinthians 2:11. It says, "Least Satan should get an advantage of us, where we're not ignorant of his devices." Right. So we know and understand how this devil is moving. So hey, we can pray on it now. You know, asking the Lord to keep you from this snare that's being laid by this devil. Right, because that's exactly what it is when he comes with the draft. Okay, he'll be able to trap you. So we send those prayers up. It says U.S. Army raises maximum enlistment age to 42 in a sweeping change to its enlistment regulations. The Army has raised the maximum age for eligible recruits to 42, the service announced. Changes highlighted in the memo, which was distributed this week and will go into effect in April, also include the removal of previous enlistment obstacles for recruits who have a single, marijuana or drug paraphernalia conviction. All right, because pretty much a lot of people smokes and things like that, which is not good for you. But they don't want that to be a problem, or an excuse, right, to why you can't be drafted or enlist anymore, because we're in a time of war, right? Just like Ecclesiastes chapter 7 says. I'll get it right here. Now just get to the point, right? It says what is it, 3? Ecclesiastes 3 and 8 says, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace, right? So there's a time and place for everything. You see, when you watch, Nero 47, and he's on his podium, and the little shield that he has on his podium with the eagle, with the it's on the back of the dollar too. The eagle with the palm leaf in his one foot, and then the arrows in the other foot, right? They're in a time now where the eagle should be facing towards the arrows, because that's exactly what they're doing. I mean, the Department of the Secretary of Defense has been changed to the Secretary of War, right? And we're in the wartime, right? It says the announcement comes as the Army continues efforts to widen its recruiting pool after falling short of its regular Army enlistment goals in 2022 and 2023 before rebounding in 2024. And that's just some type of excuse, which people don't want to fight anymore, right? That did happen, but this is just a perfect excuse for them to say, well, this is why we did it. It says the upper limit of the Army's provisions, instead of saying, yeah, everybody go to war, all right? It says the upper limit of the Army's previous allowable enlistment age was 35, but waivers were sometimes granted for older enlistees. All right, so they have moved up to 42. This is Matthew 16:1. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came and tempting, desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. He answered and said unto them, When it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? Right? And people are still talking about waiting for it to get better. People are talking about, I can't wait to vote Donald Trump out of office. You know, just I mean, I seen one video where they was interviewing the spring breaker. I guess, you know, um, if it was real or not. Some people said it was maybe a skit, but they didn't know what was happening. They don't know who the Alatolia is. You know, they don't know what's happening with Iran and things like that. Just create a few malls. And I mean, to be honest, a lot of people don't know what's about to happen because they're not watching. All hell is about to break loose, right? The energy crisis and all of that, the blackouts and the T attacks and all that is about to hit, right? But you walk around your daily life, bump into people, you know, and if you have a conversation with them, you see that they don't know too much about nothing, basically, right? It says a wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it but the sign of the prophet Jonas, and left them and departed. Right, so the prophets are here for the sign to tell you, you know, what's coming, right? The things about to happen. A lot of people, these podcasters, you know, mention that, you know, they're starting to think that the Hebrew Israelites are correct, right? And it's true. The scriptures are faithful and they are true. All right, and we're speaking of the oracles of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right, this is not of us, and you know, these things are happening, and they're seeing it. You know, they're slowly getting it, right? So anyway, Nahum 3 and 14 NLT points the fact that the draft and things gonna come, them trying to raise the what they did, raise the enlistment age and things like that, and try to get more soldiers for this war, right? They still talking about the Iron Dome, whatever the case may be. This is Nahum 3 and 14. Get ready for the siege, store up water, strengthen the defenses, go into the pits to trample clay, and pack it into molds, making bricks to repair the walls. But the fire will devour you, the sword will cut you down, the enemy will consume you like locusts, devouring everything they see. There will be no escape even if you multiply like swarming locusts. Right. So even if you get a draft, even if you raise the enlistment age, right, whatever you do is not going to save you. It says in Nahum 3 and 16, your merchants have multiplied until they outnumber the stars. But like a swarm of locusts, they strip the land and fly away. Right? That's why this devil put sanctions and things like that. He was complaining about how China, you know, basically that way, like selling too much or, you know, making profit off America, right? You know, China was making mad money off America. So stripping the land, right? And even now, as you can see, China, Russia, and the rest of the nations are doing better off than America. So it's true. It says your guards and officials are also like swarming locusts. They crowd together in the hedges on a cold day. But like locusts, they fly away when the sun comes up. All of them will fly away and disappear. This is what's happening, you know, back to back, right, you look left. These different officials are saying they don't want to fight for Israel. They're, you know, clogging up the USS, you know, Gerald Ford, you know, all these different things that these soldiers are doing to stop themselves from going to war, right? I heard mentions from one brother that some soldiers were even smoking marijuana so they can test, you know, positive on their test to be kicked out. I remember the one dude he got a dishonorable discharge for saying where the holes at in Iran or wherever he was at, right? So they're doing different things to get away from this war, right? But before, you know, it was collecting the money for college and, you know, a healthcare, whatever they buy now, you know, different things, the benefits or whatnot. But now it's time to go to war, and it's like they're leaving. Your shepherds are asleep, O Assyrian king. Your princes lie dead in the dust. Your people are scattered across the mountains with no one to gather them together. And that's what's about to happen. We're about to see that. Well, you know, if they, as a matter of fact, we will. You know, because the scriptures say, Joel 2 and 20, that they're going over there to that land, barren and desolate. All right, which is Iran. So they're going to be all scattered across that place through. All right, it says there is no healing for your wound. Your injury is fatal. All who hear of your destruction will clap their hands for joy. Where can anyone be found who has not suffered from your continual cruelty? right? The whole hammer of the earth, America, right, went around the world, rape, robbing, and pillaging everyone's belongings, right? All nations, things, and all of that. So everyone is going to be happy when this devil falls. The scriptures say, roughly paraphrasing that when the wicked bear fruit, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. All right. This Revelations 11 and 14, the second woe was past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. All right, which is World War III. Right, going back to we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. We know what's coming, right? So we see how this devil is trying to save himself and prepare himself for this, right? Which is World War III, which we're in World War III now. Troops are already being sent by the thousands, but it won't be enough. They're gonna need more. You know, this is Isaiah 30 and 1. It says, woe to the rebellious children, said the Lord Yahweh, watch me, I will shout, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. All right, and I just want to grab that because a lot of our people, trust it, trust the wicked, trust Esau, Edom, right? Even trusted in the military and all of that. And a lot of these wars that they're finding out, the 7 wars in with Iran, have just been fabricated. They were made up wars. There was never really any true danger, on America or anything like that. It was to forward the interests of their master plan. So a lot of people died trusting in the American dream and just establishing, some type of home here in America, right? We seek a continuum city, all right, as the scriptures tell us, right? The kingdom of heaven, which will come. So I just want to, speak on that. Lord willing, we edify from the lesson. Shalom to the whole elect, which consists of men, women, and children. Shalom.